Liverpool right now are riding a wave of positivity, but all of that has to be put aside for the Champions League game because this is massive. This is the biggest game of our season right now. Yes, we've faced some big teams. We've faced PSG, Man City. We've faced, a lot of our rivals in and around the top six. And come out, we're still unbeaten in the Premier League. We're obviously not unbeaten in the Champions League. We're knocked out of one cup competition already. And the reality is, ahead of this Champions League game against Napoli, where we are at home, which is good. Whenever we play at home in the Champions League, we seem to do well, which is positive. But we have to be exceptional against Napoli. We have to be very, very good against a team that's difficult to break down, a notorious Italian team, very difficult to break down, defensively very good. They themselves got a 4-0 victory with a changed team at the weekend. Pretty, similar to what we've been doing a little bit. A couple of changes here and there in the lineup with a couple of your regular starters. It's just, we've done that. We got our 4-0 victory. They got their 4-0 victory. We're going to have to make sure that we're ready because up until, obviously when we played against PSG and it wasn't the best performance of all time, we lost that game. Now we have to go out there. We not only have to win, in my opinion. I don't know if we can just win. I'm not entirely sure on that, to be honest. I'm just going to change the brightness on this. What the hell? There we go. Right. I don't think that we can just go out there and win. I think we have to go out there and win by 2 clear goals. I think. Not entirely sure. I don't expect, Red Star to do us a favour against PSG. Last time those guys faced each other, they got beat 6-1. So I don't expect a favour there. We've got to go out and do this ourselves. So technically, it is still in our hands, as far as I'm aware. We go out there and we beat Napoli, and we do it by a couple of goals. We go through. If we don't, we're in the Europa League, and that's devastating if that happens. Up until, obviously, the few results that we've had since PSG, I think we've had 3 victories in a row. I think that's right. Is that right? Everton, Burnley, and Bournemouth. I think that is right. So we've had some positive results with different players coming in, and what I'm hoping that I see in this game against Napoli that we didn't see against PSG. Against PSG, I felt we went conservative. I think I made that point clear in one of the videos anyway. I felt we went far too conservative. I feel that we needed to go in there with some creativity, and instead we went with a very static midfield of like Henderson, Milner and Wijnaldum. That has to be completely changed, in my opinion. We have to be looking at what we've done on the weekend against Bournemouth. Totally agree with what people will say. Napoli are they're a different opposition to the likes of Everton, a Burnley, a Bournemouth. But at the end of the day, we have looked very, very creative. We've looked incisive. We've looked very good. We've looked like we can actually cut through teams again because we've got creative elements in there. At the weekend against Bournemouth, let's not forget, Bournemouth are a difficult team to come up against. They are no joke this season. I think they were sat 7th. At one point, they were above Manchester United. They are no joke in this league. They've been wanting to get a little bit further up in the league. We tore them apart. We did. Naby Keita, Fabinho had very, very good games. I want them in this game. I do. I want them in this game. I don't care what people might turn around and say. Well, we might need some experience, this, that, and the other. No, we have got to go out there with the best elements, with the best creative elements, with the best solid defensive elements that we can. In my opinion, our best defensive midfielder, Fabinho. I think he is actually really starting to show not just Liverpool fans, but everybody, the type of midfielder that he can be in what was his best performance since he moved to us from Monaco. It was a brilliant performance. And you might look at it and say it was just Bournemouth, but I think he can do this against top class opposition, and I think he will. I think he's got to be bold and go for it, not just settle for doing a Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner. No disrespect to those guys, but they are brilliant players that have a certain style that is quite similar to each other, and it doesn't work together. We've known this for a while. I think even last season when we were playing this combination of midfielders, without a creative element in there or a creative person in that midfield, it can become static. We saw it against PSG. Not a lot of creativity. So, in my opinion, because Sadio Mane is going to be back as well, I would love to see us go, not necessarily gung-ho, but I would love to see us actually put a statement of intent on this game by coming out with a midfield that has Fabinho, Naby Keita, and maybe Shaqiri as well, because Shaqiri's been brilliant for us. He has been excellent for us. Have him in that midfield, it would be brilliant. The only thing he might change is he might bring in someone to be alongside Fabinho. He might want someone that's, like the box to box. He might want someone that's going to get up and down the pitch. He might want like a Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and Naby Keita. Okay, I can accept that. I just don't want it to be a static midfield. I really don't. I want some creative elements in there because we're sorely going to need them. It's not a case of we can just coast this game. We have to go out there and win. There's no two ways about it. We can't settle for a draw. We certainly can't lose the game. We have to go out there and win. Now, some people might argue that we need to rest players, for against Man United. I don't care about the Man United game right now. I really don't. Could not give a crap about it right now. This is more important. This is what's right in front of us. And this is the deciding factor of whether we stay in the Champions League or we drop to the Europa League. Do not want to drop to the Europa League at all. If there was a chance of just being able, right, say if you get knocked out of the Champions League right now, I'd love for us just to be able to go, we forfeit the Europa League, get us out of there. Not a chance. Not a chance. No way. I would rather us go through the Champions League, get through the groups, and get knocked out in the next round, then go into the Europa League. I would much rather that. And I'm pretty sure quite a lot of people would agree with that as well. That's what I've spoke about the midfield. Defence, you could actually go with what we had at the weekend. You really could. Maybe with a difference. Probably put Trent Alexander-Arnold in at right back. Although Milner has obviously proven that he's going to be quite an asset in any position. So you could probably put Milner there as well, if need be. But I think it'd be exactly the same. Andy Robertson, Van Dijk, maybe Joel Matip. Could be Lovren. I'm hoping not, though. Let's go with a Van Dijk Matip, because that looked really good at the weekend. Alisson in goal, Trent on the right-hand side. Midfield for me would be Fabinho, Naby Keita, Shaqiri. That's what I would have. And then your front three of Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah. And we go out there and we try and do what we try and do our best. That's all we can do. If we go out there, do our best, maybe win the game, but we don't go through, we've done our best. We've failed in previous matches where we should have maybe picked up more points, but we've done our best in this game. If we go out there and win, great. We've gone out there and won, and maybe we go through, excellent. Then we can move on to the weekend. But if we lose, I don't know what will happen. I don't know how we would approach the Europa League, and I don't even want to think about that right now. Before the run of results that we had against, these last couple of results that we've had, where we've obviously won them, we're now top of the league in the Premier League. We've still got the best defence in the Premier League as well. Before that, after the PSG game, I'd resigned us to the fact that we were going to go out. I'd already kind of accepted that we were going to go out of the Champions League. So if we don't go out, I would be ecstatic. If we do go out, I've kind of accepted it, and that might sound quite negative, but it's just one of those things. Last year, the Champions League was our thing. Okay, we got top four in the Premier League, but we weren't a title challenger last year. This year, it's the other way around. We are top of the Premier League and look like the strongest contenders against Man City to actually go on and win the league. We are contending in that. If we go through in the Champions League, that's better for us because it shows that we've got a bit more progression from last year as well. We've managed to go, we're top of the league at this point, and we go through to the next stage of the Champions League. That shows quite clear progression of this squad, that we can perhaps handle both competitions. If we go out of the Champions League, I want us to tank the Europa League. I do. I'm not one of these. It's not like we're sat in 6th place in the Premier League, like, say, Man United were a couple of seasons ago, and the only way to get Champions League football would be to win the Europa League. I think that while we're in the position that we're in the Premier League, if we were to go into the Europa League, I'd want to be out of it as quick as possible. And that's just my opinion. Some people might not share it, but that's my opinion. It's not that I don't like the Europa League. It would not even be on my scope of priority for Liverpool, especially when we're in the position we're in the Premier League. That's just how I feel. Other people might disagree. So, starting lineup, all that business. We've gone through that. How do I think that this result can go down? If you'd have asked me this straight after the PSG game, I'd have said that we were going to lose. I'd have said that we were going to go out, and Napoli are going to be very difficult to beat anyway. They've got a very good defence. They've got good midfielders. They've got good attackers. They're kind of like us. I don't know where they sit in their league, but obviously it'll be behind Juventus. But Napoli are a difficult team. Carlo Ancelotti is a difficult manager to play against. He himself is saying there's no use in them sitting back. They're going to want to go out and try and win the game themselves. So it's going to be interesting. Does that play into Liverpool's hand? Because when teams come out and play against us, and they try and come out at us quite quick, pacey and all that sort of business, it sometimes plays into our ability to counter. It depends how they set up. It depends whether they're trying to play mind games, that they maybe will sit back a little bit. I think the quote, he said he wasn't going to park the bus. Fair play, he might not park the bus, but it doesn't mean that he's going to go absolutely gung-ho and try and, like a shot out of a cannon, go for us. We need to take the approach that we did against Bournemouth. Be, measured in when you're out of possession, containing when you're out of possession, but when you're in possession, get that ball moving as quickly as possible in the right areas, from defence to midfield, from midfield to attack, or out wide, whichever. That's what I think we can do. And I think we can do it. I really do think we can do it. I do now. I have much more belief. And maybe this is just a belief cycle of a Liverpool fan. After the PSG game, it's doom and gloom. We're going out of the Champions League. It's not looking great. But right now, I actually think that we can do it. I really do. I think we can. I think we can at least win the game. Whether we go through into the next stage, I just hope that we can. I hope that we can. Somehow, maybe. Red Star could do us a favour, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think that we can come out of this one. I think that we can come out of this game with a few goals. I think that we can do it. I do. I think we can do it. We can do this. We can do this. Liverpool can do this. Definitely. Definitely we can do it. We just need to show that we can and go and actually do it. I think that we can come out of this game 3-1 winners, and I'm not sure if that's enough. But that's what I think can happen. I think we can be 3-1 victors in this game. We win the game. Whatever else happens after that happens. That's just how it is. I think we can win it. But yes, let's just see what happens anyway. I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm also not. We need to make sure, if we start well, like the first 5-10 minutes is looking good, and we're doing what I think that we can do. I think that we can do it. If we start off negatively, like we did against PSG, there's a good chance that we'll go on and draw or lose the game. That's just how I see it anyway. But I'm hoping for a win, and I think we can do it. Let me know if you think we can do it in the comments below. Destiny time, isn't it? Oh, good God. Are we going through, or are we going into the Europa League? Good God, I hope not. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thanks once again, and I'll catch you later.